Hi folks, Dave, the Honest Audiophile. And today we're going to take a look at the Tin Hifi T5. Tin Hifi T5 has been sent over by Linsoul for a review. I do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul, you rock. Alright, so the Tin Hifi T5 will be priced at $130. It will have a early bird special of $110, and it'll be available on Linsoul's website and on Drop. It'll be released on May 3rd. The Tin Hifi T5 is a 10mm dynamic driver that is a diamond carbon DOC driver. It has a sensitivity of 103 decibels, a impedance of 48 ohms, and a frequency response of 10 hertz to 20 kilohertz. It does come with a 4-core OFC cable and several different types of tips. Let's take a look inside the box. So it's this nice white box, a little bit bigger than the average Tin Hifi, and it opens extremely slow. There we go. And they carry on the white theme with the big white case, as you can see, and there are your IEMs. Let's cover what's inside the case here first. This feels and smells like a legit leather. It smells really good. Nice and sturdy, white, opens up, and inside you have this little pocket. You will get your T5 cable, and you'll get a set of foam tips and then some replaceable filters. The cable itself is extremely nice. It's very thin, has very soft and well-controlled ear hooks. It is a 2-pin connector, so that's a little different for Tin Hifi. If I can get it untangled here. It's just a very nicely well-controlled cable. Has a 3.5mm with an aluminum casing, and then at the split you have a little bit of Tin Hifi branding with a nice little slider, and then the ear hooks, as I said, are just very soft but yet well controlled. It's a very nice cable. I really enjoy this cable. It does tend to run into a little bit of issues of tangling down here near the slider. Alright, so the IEMs themselves, as you notice, these are totally different shape than previous T series, and that is because they're an over ear. They're a little bit on the chunky side. They have a little bit of a wing, and they're a little hefty. They're all titanium. There's your input for your 2-pin cable, and they have a somewhat short nozzle. This could cause problems for some in regards to the fit, but I did not have any problems whatsoever. Let's connect the cable here. So this is right, and this is left. Can never get cables to go in easily. Right, there we go. Get a little closer look at the body of the T5. Very subtle, hard to see on camera. It does say Tin Hifi on the shell. Overall, I like the build of them. I like the feel of them. They just have this nice heft to them overall, and they just feel very pleasing in the hand. Let's see what else is in the box here. You get some paperwork, some more paperwork, and then you get some cleaning tools. So you get a little brush, and you also get some tweezers, so if you need to replace your filters. And then you get a plethora of tips, and you get all black, and then you get these ones that are color coded. And I find that the all black ones are a little bit, let me get one out here. They're a little hard to remove. I found that the black ones are a little bit mushy, and that caused a few problems for me as far as fit and also overall sound. I found that with the black ones, things seem to sound a little bit more shouty than normal and a little bit more aggressive. So I like the green ones, and they're a little more stiff, and they have a little bit more add a little bit more body to the sound. So the green filtered ones were the ones that I preferred. They go on fairly easy. Had no problems there. I did try a couple other tips. I tried ear horn tips, and I used Deconi tips. I found that foam tips helped a little bit with the fit of the T5, and it helped to kind of hold things in place, but it did thicken things up a little bit, and you lost a little bit of the detail retrieval. So I preferred silicones with them, and I just stuck with the stock tips. I found that they had the overall best performance. Not saying that the foam tips, the stock foam tips were any bad, or that the other tips were bad. It was just I felt that the green filtered medium tip just fit me the best and gave the overall best performance. Speaking of fits themselves, when you put them on, they disappear in the ear. That you're never going to completely forget that they don't exist. They're not going to disappear like an SSR or an SSP or anything like that. But I do find that they're comfortable, and the weight doesn't really bother me once they're in the ears. And the short nozzle just kind of disappears in the ear hole, and they fit nicely. I just wish that they kind of just disappeared in the ears, but the heft never allows that. But I can wear them for hours on end, and I have no problems whatsoever with the overall comfort of them. How do they sound? The T5 is kind of like if you take a T3 and a T4 and they had a baby. They take the best of all of both of those and combine it and make the T5. And I find that they have the warmness and the tonality of the T3, and then they have the technicalities and the soundstage and the depth and the layering of the T4. And I find that overall it's just a very pleasing sound. I like the bass on the T5. It's extended well. It goes down into the sub bass, and it's present when it's called upon. Has really good details, and it has very good tone to it. And it's real good texture to it. And it's a very pleasing bass. It will give you the impact when called upon, but it's not going to rumble your ears off. And it's well controlled and just very detailed. I really enjoy the bass. The mids on the T5 are nice and natural sounding. They have a good tone about them. They have good isolation and separation of instruments and vocalists. Everything's very cohesive and very well balanced. The only thing about the mids that I do wish that they had a little bit more of, and that is a little bit more body. They have a little tendency to be a little too airy and not quite enough body to them, and they kind of float. They don't seem to have the heft and the weight that I would like, and that's one thing that the T3 does do a little bit better on, is it gives a little bit of heft in the mids. The overall tonality of the mids is very pleasing on the T5, and it has a very good tone to it. It has a really nice naturalism to it. I just wish I had a little bit more body. And then the treble is nicely extended, very well controlled. You never get into harsh and sharpness. You don't have any sibilance in the lower regions, and it's just a very pleasing treble, well controlled, reaches up there and will blare with the best of them, but at the same time will not blow your ears off and shred your ears. It's a very well controlled treble. The soundstage on them isn't the widest, but it's not the most narrow. It's about average. What they do really well is depth and layering and imaging. They're very good with tracking things around your head as they move, and you're very good at precise placement. You can tell exactly where things are, and that you can seat them and you can diagnose a soundstage very well with the T5. I really enjoy the T5. It takes the best of everything that has come out from Tin Hifi and combined it into one. The only real complaint that I have is the slight thinness of the mids. I wish I had just a little bit more body to it. But overall, I find this to be my favorite Tin Hifi. I actually find it to be the most pleasing and just the most overall detailed and resolving and just the best of the best. I highly recommend it. It does compare a little bit to the T3, as I said, in tone and in warmth. And then with the T4, it takes the technicalities from it and it brings all of those abilities in and actually refines that, makes it more resolving and detailed than the T4. The only thing, if you're looking for a IEM that has a little bit more body and a little bit more natural tonality and timbre, would be the Etymotic ER2XR. That would be the only one I would recommend. But as far as all the technicalities, soundstage, and all of that, the T5 is better. So that does it for the Tin Hifi T5. I highly recommend it. Again, it becomes available May 3rd, 6 a.m. on the Linsoul website and also on Drop. So if you're interested at that, it's going to retail at $130. There is a early bird special that will be going on at $110. So be looking for that May 3rd Tin Hifi T5. I highly recommend that you pick one up, and I look forward to hearing the impressions and the thoughts that you may have on the T5 once you get your hands on it. I'm glad that I was able to get an early preview unit of it. I thank Linsoul for sending this over, and I do greatly appreciate it. Linsoul, you rock. All right, so the Tin Hifi T5, highly recommended. Check it out when you get a chance. This has been Dave, the Honest Audiophile. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.